Look, I know your life is busy. My life is busy. Everybody's life is busy. So just don't worry about going to the gym. Fitness really isn't that important. Not, you should still go to the gym. And I'll show you how if you don't have very much time. Look, the struggle is real. I get it. Trying to find time, trying to prioritize. And I'm not going to do the whole time breakdown of look, there are this many hours in the day. There are 24 hours in the day. You spend 8 of those sleeping and 8 of those at work. You still have 8 hours to go to the gym. First of all, you shouldn't be spending 8 hours in the gym anyways. That's a long time in the gym. Um, you don't even need to go to the gym every day. Let this be a comfort to you before we even get into, how to structure your workouts when you don't have very much time. Always remember this. It doesn't take a lot. It actually takes way less than you would imagine to see gains, to get your optimal gains, optimal muscle growth. It takes a lot less than you might think. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. Maybe you're an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. You've been watching his excuse me. The monsters make me burp. Maybe I shouldn't drink them while I do these videos. Whatever. I'm going to drink them. Maybe you've been reading about Arnold Schwarzenegger and how he would lift, and he was a volume machine. He would lift so much. He would do 2 workouts a day, one in the morning, one at night. I think he would switch between upper body, lower body. Generally speaking, that's how a lot of like competitive bodybuilders do it. They lift a ton. That's all they do. They're just in the gym. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. One is because that's how they think they're going to get the most gains, and it's hard to argue with the results. Of course, then you've got Mike Mentzer saying that no, that's all wrong. You could get the same results with minimalist training, which is what I'm doing right now. And so far, I'm very happy with the results. I'm starting to become a Mike Mentzerite. But the other reason that they do that, the other reason that these professional bodybuilders are just people who get real big, one of the reasons that they work out for so long is because they just love it. They love it. That they eat, drink, and breathe iron, sweat, pain. They love the pump. They love it so much. And good for them. I'm guessing that you don't fall into that category. I'm approaching this from the perspective of someone who um, doesn't necessarily love it. They're not really in it for the enjoyment of it all. They're just doing it because you're just doing this because you know you need to exercise. And you get told it all the time, and maybe you're a little overweight, or maybe you're just kind of weak. Maybe you're skinny fat. Like maybe when you have clothes on, you look fine, but then you take them off, and you're pudgy and soft, unimpressive, weak. That is no condition for any American to be in. So join me, my fitnocrats, on our journey to minimize the time in the gym, but still get great results. Here's the first thing you're going to have to do. These are you can bring it down to 30 minutes a workout. 30 minutes a workout. That includes travel time. That's not 30 minutes in the gym. That's you know 10 minutes to get to the gym. Okay, let's say like 5 minutes. If you're driving 10 minutes to get to the gym, I would say get a closer gym. But let's say 5 to 7 minutes to get to the gym, 15 minutes in the gym, and then 5 to 7 minutes to get home. 30 minutes, maybe 35 if you're moving slow. That's it. And you're not going to be doing this every day, 3 to 4 times a week. And you're not going to be weightlifting all of those sessions. One of those is going to be a cardio session. Of course, we'll talk about cardio more later. But the idea is that we're just doing the bare minimum that we have to do in order to still see results. The results being getting stronger, feeling good, not just getting stronger in the gym, but feeling stronger in your daily life. Here's an important point. The gym was made for man, not man for the gym. We don't live to go to the gym. We go to the gym so that we might live a little bit better. And that's how the average person, that's how the average American citizen should approach the gym. Because I'm assuming you're just like a normal functioning adult. I hope you are. I hope I, I hope you have like a job and a family that you're taking care of and other responsibilities outside the gym. Uh, you're not just a lonely waste such as myself. Oh, I'm doing my part. I'm uh I'm but a lowly construction worker slash personal trainer slash piano teacher slash all sorts of other things. I'm doing my part for society, and so are you. You just need to find time to get to the gym. So whatever we're doing in the gym, it's meant to add to our life outside the gym. And that's why I want you to, spend as little time there as possible and the most you can in, the real world. The gym is not the real world. The gym is a small microcosm of the world. It's where people go to simulate work. That's all you're doing is simulating physical manual labor at the gym. So let's simulate some manual labor. Here's the first point if you're going to minimize the workouts. You're not going to do a bajillion little exercises. You're going to do two, maybe three big lifts. When I say big lifts, I mean big multi joint movements. That means um, curls, bicep curls are out, leg extensions are out. No leg extension. You're not going to be doing leg extensions or leg curls. Um, Probably most shoulder exercises. Lateral raises are probably out. Any exercise where it's just one joint moving, those are out. We don't have time for those. Ignore them. Those are supplementary exercises. Those are to assist the big lifts. The big lifts would include a squat, any kind of a chest press, or any kind of a row. Anything you're pushing or you're pulling or you're using your legs, we're using multiple joints, multiple muscles, big muscle groups. We're getting a lot of work done in a small amount of time. So that's what we're going to be focused on in these workouts 2 to 3 big lifts. And, well, you might be saying, well, which lifts do we focus on? The lifts that are going to get you the most results for the least amount of work. So, for instance, I would say skip the squat. Squats are good. You can work in squats if you want, but I think what would be even more useful would be a lunge. See, a lunge, it's basically a squat. Another name for the lunge is a split squat. But while you are squatting, you're also working on balance. You're working on not falling over from side to side. Your two sides have to be balanced. You're less likely to have imbalances from side to side if you're doing a lunge rather than doing a squat. The same could be applied to a bench press. Rather than doing a barbell bench press where both of your hands are pushing up on one heavy object, do a dumbbell bench press where both of your arms are moving independent of each other. Do the dumbbell bench press. It's a big multi-joint movement. You're working the chest, the triceps, the shoulders, but they're also working independent of each other. So again, you're not going to develop those imbalances. Same with any kind of a row. When you're doing a row, do single arm rows. I would emphasize single arm, single side, unilateral movements. That's the term for it. Unilateral movements in your when we're trying to pick, the best exercises that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. And maybe throw in a bigger exercise here and there. Throw in a barbell exercise there. One barbell exercise I would put in to this really short workout program would be a deadlift, barbell deadlift. I know some people don't like the barbell deadlift. They say the risk to reward ratio is way off. You're more likely to hurt yourself than see any significant gains from it. I respectfully disagree. I think the barbell deadlift is great. If done correctly, careful on it. If you're not experienced with the barbell deadlift, start at a very light weight, film yourself or have a coach or a friend, someone experienced, watch you and make sure that your back is staying straight, you're breathing, keeping your core tight. Wear a belt if you have to. I'm not against belt. I don't wear a belt myself. I'm minimalist, but if you want to wear a belt, that's fine. I actually have a lot to say on the belt, but I'll spare you that shtick. How do you structure this workout? Well, like I said, 3 to 4 workouts a week, 2 exercises a day. Uh, Obviously, one of your main body parts, whether we're, I like to divide it into 4 sections: legs, core, chest, and back. One of those is going to get a little bit more work than the others, and that's going to depend on what you want to work out more. So let's say that I really want to work my legs and my glutes. Well, that means for at least 2 of those 3 weightlifting days, I'm going to be doing legs on both of those days. So I go into the gym, 15-minute workout. Skip the warm up. Warm ups are wildly overrated. Again, in my humble opinion, I know there's some exercise scientists out there, and what are they called? Freaking physical therapists. That's what they're called. They're really hard. That's a really hard word to remember. Curse my brain. There's some physical therapists out there who are screaming at me when I say the warm ups are overrated. For most people, they're overrated. Maybe if you're really old or if you have some really specific needs, then yeah, do the warm up, do some kind of a warm up. But 5, 10 minute long warm up, walking on the treadmill, you really don't. Just jump in and just use the exercise itself to do the warm up. So okay, I'm starting with a lunge, a barbell lunge, dumbbell lunge, doesn't matter. I'm doing some kind of a lunge. Okay, your warm up is the lunges without any weight, just light as you can go on the lunges. That's your warm up. And then you start adding weight until you get up to your working weight. That's your warm up. That's a great warm up. That's how I warm up. Not for everybody. If you need to do a full warm up, that's fine, but keep it as short as you can so you can at least get 2 exercises in. Then, after I'm done doing the leg exercise, then I'm going to switch to chest exercise, dumbbell chest presses. Those are great. I love those. In fact, I'm going to do dumbbell chest press on a slight incline because then it gets more of my upper shoulders. So, that's one workout. 15 minutes in the gym, I'm out. I'm gone. The next time I go in to work out, again, focus on legs. Well, I'm going to start with some kind of a lower body exercise. Maybe a deadlift. I'm going to do barbell deadlift. Or you could do single leg deadlifts. Those aren't bad either. But I would do a barbell deadlift just because that's my preference. I like the barbell deadlift. So there's your legs. This time we're going to do a back exercise because we did chest last time. We need to make sure we're getting our back muscles in. So we're going to do, let's do a single arm lat pull down. That's a good one. And then our final weightlifting workout on our third day, let's do goblet squats. Goblet squats, or if you can't go heavy enough on the goblet squats to challenge yourself, all right, we're doing barbell squats. Let's throw in some barbell squats. That is going to do amazing things for your lower body if you're good at it and you're doing it right. Barbell squats. And then you can either throw in chest or back, whichever one you want to work out more. So we get a bunch of legs in. We're getting our back and our chest exercises in. 15 minutes in the gym, 15 minutes out. Oh, also the fourth workout. Cardio. You can either do that in the gym, or this would be my recommendation: find something outside the gym. Find a sport. Find something that gets you outside, or at some kind of a function where you're with other people. It's social and it gets you moving. That's your mobility. Yeah. One thing that I've neglected to talk about in these really short workouts is mobility work. If you're doing something outside of the weightlifting gym, you're doing some kind of a sport, or you're a hiker, or you're a hunter, or you're like me and you do construction, or you're doing yard work. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing. Do something that gets you moving. Get you moving and doing lots of different things. That's going to be your mobility work and your cardio all in one. Find something. I don't know what it is. I know we just talked about how you already don't have time. That's why you're spending so little time in the gym. No, you need to do this. You need something that gets you moving and active and being with other people. That's important. If you're just spending 8 to 10 hours a day, every day in an office or at a computer, and then you just go home and you sit on the couch, and then you go and you lie in bed, and then in the morning you do it all again. Basically, 95% of your time is spent immobile doing nothing. That's terrible. That's terrible. You got to do something about that. Yeah, I don't know how, I don't know what. Find something you enjoy. That's going to be your cardio and your mobility. So there you have it. 15-minute workouts, 2 big lifts, emphasis on getting stronger, emphasis on good form so you don't hurt yourself, and then find something active and fun to do outside the gym. If you do that consistently, nothing that can stop you. You're going to see gains whether you want to or not. And you don't have to join the legions of fat Americans who end up being bad statistics. Don't be that. Don't be that. Work on yourself. Stay in shape. You owe it. You owe it to your family. You owe it to your country. You owe it to yourself. So that's all I've got.